Hello everybody, this is Havoc and welcome to another Ancient Empires faction overview. Today we are looking at the Daci. Now I'm sure you are wondering, but I have skipped over a few factions. So we looked at the Cantabri yesterday. The Carpetani are another Iberian faction and they have almost the exact same units, they're just a different texture. So I decided not to go over it with them, and then the Sessatani were essentially the same thing. These are all Iberian factions, so just like how I am going to skip over a majority of, I'll show off like the Arverni are a good Gaelic faction, a good Celtic faction. The other factions are kind of the same, they're just different textures. So I'm not going to go over the same units. I'm not going to have battle after battle of the same type of units. So we're going to move on to a different faction. Today we're going to be looking at the Daci. This is of course with the Kingdom of Dacia. Now they don't have a huge roster, but the roster that they do have is pretty sweet, and I'm very happy and excited to finally get to these guys. So we're going to go start off with the generals. We have Desi and Nobles to start out with. Charge rating is 7, offense of 13, melee defense of 15, armor rating of 12, and morale at 13. Make them some very heavy, not very heavy melee units, very good heavy melee units. I mean, these are almost on par with Legionnaires, these Daci and Nobles, so definitely be some good troops to have. They inspire their allies, they can hide in forest, they scare everyone, they are immune to fear. They also do have standard shot, which doesn't have the Iberian javelin perk, but it does give you 10 speed, minus 10% speed, minus 1 morale, minus 20% charge rating, and minus 1 shield defense. And they also have decent stamina. Excuse me. And then the only advantage that the Dacian chieftain has is that he simply has more morale. But that 15 morale is definitely really good. I'm not going to downplay the effect of 15 morale, but that is the only difference between the two of them. Down to Spear Infantry, we have Dacian Spearmen. Charge rating of 3, offense of 6, defense of 12, armor at 5, and morale at 6. Makes some pretty decent Spear Infantry Tier 1. We've seen this kind of stat pretty much throughout the entire faction overview, so it's nothing really truly new. But what is cool is the Dacian Spear Wall. Now we've seen units of these types before, but they have a charge rating of 4, offense of 8, defense of 15, armor rating at 8, and morale at 10. They do have the Spear Phalanx ability, which gives them some really good things in terms of the Shield Ready perk, including plus shield 3 shield defense, plus 100% entity mass, which means it's basically just going to be harder to push through them. They are a spear wall. I mean, that's what they are. And then they have actually Brace Spears, which actually gives them more entity mass and actually really helps against cav and against elephants. But as you can see, Spear Phalanx does more against cav, whereas Brace Spears, I guess it does do, never mind, they just have the stats labeled differently. I thought they were switched. The only poor thing about them is they do have poor stamina, which means they're going to tire quickly, but they are made to be more of a defensive unit anyways, so I would use them as such. Melee Infantry, we have Dacian Folksmen, finally. I really want to use these guys and see how well they do. Charge rating of 11, which is really, really good. Melee offense of 11, melee defense of 5, armor rating of 5, and morale at 8. These I kind of want to just throw out there as sacrificial units. They will tear people up for sure, but I may see if I can't flank with these guys as well. Or just cover my flanks with a high charge rating unit like the Folksmen. Now they do have very good stamina, which makes sense. They have a high charge rating, they should be able to do that, and they scare everyone of course, and they are immune to fear. We have Dacian Swordsmen up next. Charge rating of 6, offense of 10, defense of 13, armor rating at 8, and morale at 10. Again, make them some pretty decent tier 2 melee infantry. They do have a range shot and decent stamina. And then up for the melee infantry, lastly we have Dacian Nobles, which is of course the same Dacian Nobles as our general unit. Down to bow infantry, we have Dacian Bowmen. Ammunition of 23, ranged offense of 3, missile range 120, offense of 4, defense of 3, armor at 5, and morale at 5. Pretty standard typical light bow infantry stats. And the same with the Slingers, except for actually these guys don't have that high of a melee defense. I don't know why it did that. Usually slingers have at least like a 6, give or take, depending on the type of. Yeah, as you can see, they don't really have shields, which really gives them a buff. But ammunition at 30, ranged offense at 2, missile range at 240. Offense at 4, defense at 3, armor at 5, and morale at 5 means these guys really can't get into any kind of a melee engagement. They will not last long. Down to the skirmishers. We have Daci and javelin men. Ammunition of 4, ranged offense of 9, missile range of 70, charge rating of 3, melee offense of 6, melee defense of 8. These guys have shields, and you can see that when you hover over it. Base value 2, shield value of 6. Armor rating at 5 and morale at 6. These guys do have very good stamina though, so it would be worth it to field a few Daci and skirmishers, just because they do have a pretty decent offense and melee defense stat. Since they have very good stamina, they can make it all the way across the field, not really be that tired, and they can be useful, very useful. Down the melee cav, we have Daci and heavy horse. Charge rating of 8, melee offense of 7, melee defense of 11, armor rating at 12, and a morale at 13 make them very good heavy melee cav. They would definitely outlast in a battle, and yeah, I'm excited to use these guys for sure. Now, surprisingly enough, we have Mercenaries, Sarmatian, Cataphracts. We've seen these guys before. I am not going to use them in this battle. I'm trying to shy away from the mercenary units and really show off the actual faction units. Plus, we've seen Sarmatian Cataphracts, I don't know, what, 3 or 4 times at least? So I'm not going to go over their stats. I just want to point out that you do have the ability to have Mercenary Sarmatian Cataphracts, but I am not using them in the battle. Then we have Getic Horse Archers. Ammunition of 28, ranged offense of 4, missile range of 160, charge rating at 2, offense of 3, defense of 3, armor rating at 5, and morale at 7. These guys are not going to be that great outside of their light bow cav ability. That melee offense and defense is just very poor, and the charge rating at 2 means they're really even not going to be that good at charging into the back of units. Of course, having anything charge into the back of units is going to give a morale debuff, but these Getic Horse Archers, they do have a decent ranged offensive rating. It's just not they're just not very useful outside of that. And then we have Daci and Light Horse. Ammunition of 6, ranged offense of 9, missile range of 80, charge rating of 3, melee offense of 5, melee defense of 11, armor rating at 5, and morale at 8. Make them pretty good, and I mean pretty actually no, that melee defense is actually pretty good. Make them some pretty decent light skirmisher cav. I'd be more willing to throw these guys into battle over the bow cav, which is probably what I'll do. So that is it, guys. Again, not a huge roster, but again, I'm excited to use these Foxmen and even the Desi and Swordsmen and Nobles. We're going to throw in some Slingers, I think, some melee cav, and some skirmisher cav. So you guys know the drill. I'll see you on the battlefield. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the battlefield. We are in Northern Macedonia in a cool little hill map. I'm really liking this defendable position. There's a lot of good spots for a couple of ambushes. We're going to try and throw them. We're going to see if the Macedonians can come at us. Now, we do outnumber the Macedonians by a good solid 500 men, but the only reason is we do have a 20-20 stack. The only reason is that their spear infantry and their pikemen, they don't number as many as ours do, so we don't have more unit cards per se, but we do have more units. So whether that means we automatically win or not, I really honestly have no idea. What is up with the super pink guys? They're kind of weirding me out, man. But regardless, we're going to go through our unit compositions, and then we will get into the battle. Leading the front line, we have a couple of skirmishers. Looking mighty Dacian. I'm loving the beards. I'm loving the beards. Yeah, these guys are hopefully going to be very good. I'm going to try and use them in a ranged attack, peel them out of combat, and then do a flanking maneuver. Perhaps it's really cool to just see that we have a very good hill position. It'd be technically, I think we should probably not be able to be seen. I mean, if we get down to their position, I'm going to take a time out here. I'm going to get down to their position. You could maybe see these guys, but they're hidden in the forest. So, that's a little inaccurate. Total war. But regardless, our skirmishers should do some pretty good work, our javelin men. Behind them, we have 4 units of Daci and Spearwall. And these guys do look very mighty. Very awesome. Okay, dude. What's up? Dude, why are you so pink? And so I really like the shield designs as well. They look like, I just like those long oval shields too. Makes for a very cool looking unit. I do just those spears in general. So we're going to try and use them effectively today. Try to get up there and maybe do a, let's see, what would be better, brace spears or spear phalanx? I'm thinking spear phalanx. That entity mass is good, but I don't think, I would rather have more shield defense and a higher missile block chance. Attack against Cav is the same, so I guess we'll just have to see. We will just have to see. So we have 4 units of those guys. On each flank, hiding, these guys are hiding, the other guys are not. We have 4 units of Daci and Falksmen. Now these guys might be light melee as they say, but those swords will just absolutely decimate. They should anyways. And since they have such a good charge rating, they should be able to surprise the enemy with some pretty good charge attacks. Here we go. Here's them without all the crouching. Now are these a little short guys? Do you know how big these swords are supposed to be? Because I remember, I think in Rome 1 they looked a lot bigger, and that could just been just because of Total War. But regardless, we're going to put these guys up into the forest as soon as possible, see if they can't hide. Now it says they're not going to be good against anything, but I think we could use them for some good flanking maneuvers. This will be an interesting battle just because we are going up against pikemen, and those aren't exactly the easiest troops to kill. Alright, so we have those 2 on the flanks. On right outside of the spear wall units, we have 4 units of Desi and Nobles. And it does look like they have just a mixed hodgepodge of swords, and armor type seems to be relatively, I guess, not consistent. They're not consistent at all. Aside from the pink officer, but they do have some pretty cool designs that aren't in the spear wall troops. So that is a cool thing that it actually sets them apart in that regard. Different types of helmets. Really, really solid units. I really think that they'll do a really good job. And it'll just be cool to see them actually use all the battle animations with just their different armor types. Our general is a unit of Dacian chieftains. Thought I would use him since he's not actually a unit in any of the other cards. He's just a general's unit. Again, just a buffed up version of those nobles, but still very, very deadly. Over here on our left flank, we have Dacian light horse. Now again, these guys are actually pretty darn good, especially in the melee defense category, so I'm hoping once they throw all of their ranged attack, they'll be able to join the battle as melee cav. And then speaking of melee cav, we have our Dacian heavy horse. So it's all good, it's all good. So I really like these guys, that gold armor. They don't really look like heavy horse. They look almost like a light shock troop, to be honest, with those spears. But I guess it works. Yeah, I guess it works. I really like how they look, though. Again, more shield designs. It would be intense to carry that heavy shield and that spear while riding horseback. Kudos to all of you guys who are going to die in my imaginary battle. Alright guys, well again, we outnumbered them by a good 500 troops. But that's alright. We're going to move everyone up because I really want to get right about there. Let's go ahead and secure those flanks. What you gonna do, Cav? You gonna come at me? You usually do. Let's go ahead and toggle skirmish mode. I actually think I might extend my spears a little bit. What are these guys doing? I do love that they are more cautious. The battle AI has been modified, and I love how they react. They're just being super cautious. Still can't see my troops on either side. Move up. Hopefully they don't get seen. Come on, move up. Move back, lads. There we go. Lay that trap. Not fast enough. Alright, so we will use these guys in just a little bit. Skirmishers, get back there. Guys haven't been seen again, so that's good. Question is, how are these guys going to react? We're going to spear Phalanx them. That will give them some defense. Yeah, we're gonna let these guys get ambushed right here. Our general's under attack. Let's get out of there. Okay, skirmishers. Skirmish mode off. Yes, please pelt your own dudes to death. Here we go. Skirmishers. Skirmishers. Then we are going to go ahead and set this trap. How are they doing? We're going to buff them. We're going to buff them. We're going to move our skirmishers around. Haven't been paying attention. Shocking. Go after those dudes. You're going to come into battle here. We are going to support. Can give them that nice backing. We can afford to do that. Plus I can use scare. Go, go, go. Stop using your melee or your cav attack. Ranged, whatever you want to call it. Yes, please go against my Folksmen. General's already starting to rout. I think we're going to be decently safe. I'm going to wait just a little bit longer. Throw those things, guys. There we go. Take out those royal peltasts. Take them out. Hit those guys in the back. There we go. Kill the general. Alright, are we good? Are we good? Actually, I'm going to get you to go there. Yeah, because I'm afraid if we don't do anything right now, we may win the battle. Whoa, wish I knew the right direction to go in. So our spear walls are actually doing very well against their phalanx. Look at that dude. That dude is skied. He's got like 7 spears against him. I don't know what that was. There we go. Here, let me hit you in the side of the face with my oversized spear. Woo. But as you can tell, we are really holding well. I think these guys are, I guess they're the melee infantry, okay. But you can still see they're actually doing really good against these pikemen, which is a little strange, to be honest. I did not expect our spear wall to hold so well against these pikemen. But they are doing a very, very good job. And even over here, I guess those are our spears. Oh, they're fighting our skirmishers. Or our falksmen, sorry. Let's charge into the back of them, and let's go ahead and start pushing. Hit those guys in the back. Let's go ahead and hit these skirmishers. Very nice. I knew those falksmen would help. Get back over here. These guys do have that excellent charge. Just seeing, here we go. You ready for this? These guys know they're screwed. Oh yeah. Oh wow, that dude just got beheaded. That dude did too. There you go, rout. Suckos, rout. Oh no, they're not routing. They're simply reorganizing. Push in, guys. Don't let them reorganize. We do have a couple of our heavy horse are still alive. Where is our general? Go ahead and use that debuff on those guys. We're going to let everyone use their ranged attack. I mean, why not? Looks like our javelin men have routed. Let's go ahead and get our Desi and Nobles into here. Charge into them. You guys are going to charge into battle there. You guys line up on that point. You guys use your ranged attack, please. There we go. Collapse on those guys. We're going to go ahead. Oh, there they go. Well, I didn't expect them to turn around. Let's go ahead and plug this up real quick. And, yep, it looks like it's just because our spears failed. They didn't fail. They've done a really good job. You guys go out. That did not work quite as well as I had hoped. Line up, because we're going to pull out here in just a second. Yeah, those cav, we have to get out of that engagement. These guys are now surrounded, though. The battle is turning in our favor. Desi and Nobles come out there. Skirmishers, I need you to peel off. Only so I can bring in my Falksmen. Get out of there. That's what I told you to do. Let's go ahead and debuff those guys. Those Royal Peltas, they have an armor or a morale rating of 1. Oh, now with 3. Oh, good job. Morale is 7. Those other white shields have routed. These guys should be routing soon. How are these guys doing? Morale of 10. These guys aren't going anywhere. Morale of 2. I'm very surprised. Let's charge into these Macedonian white shields. See what they're... Haha! They did rout. There they go. They'll rout before the battle's over, or before that charge can get off. There we go. Oh well. Nice charge. Way to kill your own troops. Applause, applause. Decisive victory. So had I known, I probably would have thrown a few more units into these guys, into the Macedonians. I didn't really pay attention to unit sizes of these peltasts and the Macedonian white shields, but regardless, I still think we did a very good job. Can't really see the kills there. It's not a whole lot. I think this guy's in the 200s, though. Even the javelin men did a really good job. All of our heavy horse did very well, and even our general really got into the battle at the end to help plug that hole from our spears routing. The spear walls still held up very well, especially against that Phalanx and against those royal peltasts. I was genuinely surprised, and I was very glad that they held as well as they did. So that is the Dacians, the faction of Daci. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Follow me on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Just as an FYI, I do not have any updates on when the campaign will be out. So anytime that I do, believe me, you guys will know. So for those of you who keep asking, I will let you know once I receive more information. Don't you worry about that. But regardless, this is Havoc, and I'm out of here. Peace.